Senator Hagerty.
Thank you. Deputy Assistant Administrator Pryor, I'm going to start with you. When Secretary Blinken appeared before the Appropriations Committee in October of last year, I asked him a very simple question, and that was whether he could guarantee that no U.S. taxpayer funding had been, and this included in aid to Gaza, had been used to fund or support the Hamas attacks on October the 7th of 2023. I asked him repeatedly, and repeatedly he declined to make that guarantee. That week, I also sent a letter both to Secretary Blinken and to USAID Administrator Power asking how much in U.S. taxpayer-funded foreign assistance has been sent specifically to Gaza, and to list each recipient in Gaza, whether at the awardee level or the sub-awardee level. I have that letter right here. That was months ago. 8 months later, USAID has failed to give me a complete answer. In particular, the agency has refused to disclose recipients at the sub-awardee level. The responses that I've received from AID have made it clear that the agency has the information about sub-awardees, that it's not classified, but the agency is not providing it. So, Ms. Pryor, why, 8 months later, after I sent a letter with a very simple request, has the administration refused to provide the U.S. Senate with basic transparency about who's receiving U.S. taxpayer dollars, especially at the sub-awardee level, so we can see where it's being spent?
Thank you for your question, sir. The safety of our implementing partner staff is our utmost paramount concern. And this is such a high-risk environment where Hamas can target our implementing partner staff. I'm not familiar with this. I believe this is on the humanitarian assistance side, so I'm happy to go back to my colleagues on humanitarian assistance and see what is the status of this response and how we get you the information you are seeking.
I certainly want the information, deserve the information. It's been 8 months. I think I know why you're hesitating. Like, I raised this with Administrator Power. I shared with her one of the sub-awardees that's doing just what we're concerned about. I think that's the reason you're not sharing this information, is because this sort of activity, Hamas supporting activity, is occurring among the sub-awardees. You're all going to be back in front of us on the Appropriations Committee, where I sit, next month. I expect to have this information before then.
Noted, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Assistant Secretary Leaf, I'd like to turn to you now. The Biden administration has declined to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state and has stated that a Palestinian state should be established through, quote, direct negotiations between the parties involved in the conflict. Will this remain the administration's position through January 20th of 2025?
Yes, Senator, absolutely. That's longstanding policy, and it's been the president's own approach to this issue set throughout his career.
Well, I'm pleased to hear you say that unequivocally, because here's the reason for my concern. Back in December of 2016, in the lame duck Obama administration, we saw the Obama administration betray Israel and allow the infamously anti-Israel UN Security Council Resolution number 2334 to go into effect. And as I fast forward to today, the Biden administration has been pushing Israel to agree to a normalization agreement with Saudi Arabia. And that agreement would require Israel to agree to, quote, a credible pathway to a Palestinian state. And my concern would be that if Israel were to agree to this, quote, credible pathway, that the Biden administration might turn around and do just as the Obama administration did back in 2016 and unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, while falsely claiming that this is what Israel had already agreed to. So I just want to be clear again. Is there any scenario between now and January 20th where the Biden administration would recognize a Palestinian state in the absence of Israel's official recognition of a Palestinian state?
That would be the subject of direct negotiations, sir. Direct negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians.
And only then. There would be no
Yes.
recognition absent
right.
that. I
That's
just want to
right.
make sure, make clear.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Thanks for putting that on the record for me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. And Senator Hagerty, I'd be glad to work with you on that request you made for information. There may be some reasons why it should be done in a classified setting, but be happy to work with you on that. Be happy to work with you on that.